To be alone is one of the greatest joys in life, but people are so afraid of it. They cannot be alone because they have never learned to be in solitude. They are afraid of themselves. Once, a wise philosopher said, "Solitude is not the absence of love, but its complement." This powerful thought invites us to reflect on how being alone isn't about being incomplete. It's about being whole within ourselves. Have you ever wondered why you're still single? Maybe you've asked yourself, why me? Why haven't I found someone yet? Whether you've been through relationships or have been single for a while, it's so easy to think there's something wrong with you. But what if I told you that being single isn't some punishment or mistake? What if this is actually the perfect time for growth, for learning, and maybe even for something bigger than you could imagine? We always hear people say that God has a plan for us. And maybe, just maybe, the plan right now is for you to be single, to be by yourself for a while and figure out the lessons that only solitude can teach you. But before you rush to judge this phase as just being alone, let me ask you this. What if being single is actually one of the most sacred gifts that God could give you right now? Being single often gets a bad rap. People think it's a void, like there's something missing. But when you really think about it, being single is not about being incomplete. It's about being complete on your own. It's about using this time to connect with yourself in a way you might never have when you were distracted by the noise of a relationship. I know it's easy to think that love means finding someone else, but the truth is, love starts within. It starts with you, not someone else. A beautiful thought once said, "To be alone is one of the greatest joys in life, but people are so afraid of it. They cannot be alone because they have never learned to be in solitude. They are afraid of themselves." Most of us are scared of being alone because we've been taught that solitude is something to avoid. But here's the thing, what if we could embrace it? What if, instead of running away from it, we leaned into it? When you learn to be alone, you learn to be okay with who you are. You realize that you don't need anyone else to feel whole. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's actually a powerful opportunity for growth. A thought I came across said, "Aloneness is a flowering, a fulfillment. It is not loneliness." When you stop chasing after others for validation, when you stop trying to fill the gaps in your life with relationships, you start to listen to your own soul. You start to hear what your heart truly needs, and that's when the real growth happens. Imagine this. When you're alone, you are in the best possible place to cultivate your inner peace. You get to know what makes you happy, what brings you fulfillment, what passions spark your soul. It's only in those quiet moments, away from the hustle of the world and the distractions of a partner, that you truly get to connect with the most important person in your life, you. But it's not just about being alone. It's about what you do with that time. What if being single isn't a wait for something else, but a time to be fully present with yourself? Maybe you're in a phase right now where you're learning about your own worth, your strengths, and your purpose. Maybe this time of being single isn't a curse. It's preparation. You're not meant to be in a relationship right now because you're still becoming the best version of yourself. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's necessary. Think about this. Only when you are whole can you meet the other. The other cannot make you whole, only you can make yourself whole. How powerful is that? If we're constantly seeking someone else to complete us, we're never going to find true fulfillment. True love comes from being whole on your own. And that wholeness is something you can only discover when you spend time being comfortable with yourself. Right now, being single isn't about waiting for someone to come along and make you happy. It's about realizing that happiness has always been within you. It's about building a strong, loving relationship with yourself first. Because when you love yourself, when you understand your worth, that's when you'll be ready to share your love with someone else in the healthiest way possible. And let's be real, this isn't always easy. Society tells us that we need someone to make us happy, to complete us. We're constantly bombarded by messages that tell us we're not enough unless we're in a relationship. But think about it. How many times have you heard people say that love is all about finding the one. What if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if we're meant to find ourselves first? Being single gives you the space to discover that, without the pressures of fulfilling someone else's expectations. You can focus on your goals, dreams, and passions. You can invest time in self-care, work on your personal growth, and truly become the person you're meant to be, without needing anyone else's approval. You're probably thinking, but isn't it hard sometimes? Don't we all need someone? And yes, that's true. But the thing is, it's better to wait for the right person than to rush into something that doesn't honor who you are. And when you're whole, you won't settle for less than someone who truly complements your life. Love isn't about needing someone. It's about wanting them in your life because they add to your joy, your journey, and your story. Now, let's talk about strength. Love is not just for the weak. Love is for the strong. Real love is not about being attached to someone or depending on them to make you happy. It's about being strong enough to love without needing to possess, without needing to control, without fear of losing the person. True love is free. It's not about dependence but about partnership. You can only reach that place if you've built strength within yourself first. Think about this. Love is not for the weak. Love is for the strong. Because only the strong can remain loving without attachment. Real love isn't about clinging to someone else because you're afraid of being alone. It's about being so comfortable in your own skin that you can love without needing to hold on to someone else. And that takes strength. It takes knowing who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. So, if you're sitting there wondering, why am I still single? Let me ask you, have you really learned to be at peace with yourself? Have you learned to love yourself for who you are, not for who you think you should be or who others think you should be? Love comes to those who are willing to wait, those who don't look for love, but who grow into love. And I completely believe that. When you focus on growing and becoming the best version of yourself, love will come, at the right time with the right person. But it won't be just any love. It'll be love that matches your energy, your purpose, and your heart's deepest desires. Being single doesn't mean you're missing something. It doesn't mean you're destined to be alone forever. It just means that this is your time to become whole. You're learning how to be your best self. And when the time comes, you'll be ready for a relationship that complements your life, not completes it. So if you're single right now, I want you to see this time for what it truly is. A gift. A gift to explore, to grow, to understand yourself, and to prepare for the life and love you deserve. Finally, I just would like to say that you should only care about one thing, that you are happy, that you are blissful, that you are silent, that you are at ease with existence. Don't bother about anybody, any religion, any society, any culture, any education. They are all strategies to create personalities out of individuals.